Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Okay, stop what you're doing. Warhammer just announced 11th edition, and I need you to understand, I have not finished painting my 10th edition army. I have not finished my 9th edition army. I have an 8th edition unit in a box. Still in the box. And yet, here we are. Again. Welcome to C7 Miniature Misinformer, hobby news, real and made up. The show for painters, collectors, and people who've said, I'll just browse the new releases real quick, and then blacked out and woke up with a $200 order confirmation. I'm your host. My pile of shame is not a problem. It is a commitment, a lifestyle, if you will. Tonight, new releases from AdeptiCon. A Scottish army saying its final goodbye. One perfectly painted army that has authorities baffled. And the part where I talk about brushes and absolutely nobody asked. Let's get into it, and let's go. Hobby scandals. We start, as we must, with the elephant in the room. The elephant wearing power armor, carrying a chainsword, and standing on a pile of wallets. Warhammer 40K 11th edition has been confirmed. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't we just do this? Yes, we did. And before that, we did it again. Warhammer 40K operates on a very simple philosophy. Just when you finally understand the rules, they change them. It's less of a game system and more of a Sisyphean relationship with a rulebook. This time, 11th edition starter box is going back to basics. A classic Blood Angels versus Orks setup. Red guys screaming at green guys. Green guys screaming back louder, mostly because they enjoy it. It's poetic, really, like a Homeric epic. Except the budget went mostly to resin and the lore involves a man in a red suit who's been angry for 10,000 years. Also confirmed a return to Armageddon, and with it, the return of Commissioner Yarrick. For those unfamiliar, Yarrick has died several times. He keeps coming back. At this point, death in Warhammer isn't a consequence, it's a scheduling conflict. Yarrick looked at Death and said, I have plans, and Death, frankly, backed down. The Astra Militarum, the regular human soldiers of the 41st millennium, are getting shiny new vehicles. Which is heartwarming, really. Here are your regular, non-enhanced, completely biological humans. Here are the keys to a tank. There's a demon out there the size of a skyscraper. Good luck, lads. Over in Kill Team, the Red Terror is hunting elite Cadians. The Red Terror, for context, is a massive bio-horror creature that tunnels through the ground and drags soldiers into the dark. Which is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Almost as terrifying as trying to paint the eyes on a 28mm face at midnight. Almost. Horus Heresy is getting Ogrins, big guns, and a Spartan tank. The Spartan tank. A tank so large, so gloriously excessive, that looking directly at it triggers an urge to spend money. Subtlety has officially taken its paints off the table, packed its bags, and left. We wish it well. This week's Community Watch. In the wider hobby world, Infinity players are processing the news that the Caledonian Highlander army is getting its final release. That's right, your last chance to own Space Scots. Kilts in space, with guns, probably arguing. Once they're gone, they're gone. Until a limited reprint mysteriously appears 18 months from now, but we don't talk about that. Cora's Belly also revealed new Warcrow units, including the Moss Hermit and a character called Gitmalu The perfect one. The perfect one. Bold, extremely bold. As someone who has applied a highlights to a cloak and immediately made it look like a highlighter exploded. I find the concept of perfection in this hobby theoretical. They also announced Infinity Hexadome Legends, a gladiatorial arena game with expansions rolling out across the year, which is exciting. It's a new system with clean rules and a fast setup. I will add it to the list of games I definitely intend to learn. This is a very long list. This list even has sections. And finally, a hobbyist somewhere has reportedly completed an entire army. Fully painted, every model, no shortcuts. No, I'll not come back to these bases. No, they look fine from 6 feet away. Done. Authorities have described the scene as deeply suspicious. Friends say he seemed calm, almost peaceful. The investigation continues. Brush tips nobody asked for. Tip 1. If your paint is behaving badly today, grainy, streaky, separating in the pot like a bad relationship, I need you to consider, carefully and without ego, it's you. You didn't thin it enough, or you thinned it too much, or you looked at it with distrust, and paint, like animals and children, can sense doubt, even fear. Tip 2. Every single mistake you make on a model is fixable. Simply wait until it dries, and then look at it for a moment, and say the magic word. Weathering. Done. It's intentional now. It's a battle damage. You meant to do that. You're not a hobbyist. You're a narrative storyteller. Canadian bonus tip. And this one is very real. If you store your paints in the garage over winter and you live in a place where winter takes things personally, congratulations. You have invented hobby pudding. It doesn't paint, but it has texture. And now a word from our sponsors. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Just One More Kit, Trademark Incorporated. The subscription box that sends you models you absolutely do not need, but you will defend loudly and with passion to anyone who asks. Each monthly box contains a unit you already own, a sculpt from 2003 that is somehow still charming, one microscopic component that will immediately enter another dimension upon opening. Premium members receive an additional monthly card. It says one word. Finish something. You won't, but you will feel something when you read it. C7 Miniature Misinformer Hobby News is also brought to you by Hobby Desk Expansion Bricks, Trademark Incorporated, stackable modular platforms designed to hold the weight of your ambitions and none of your finished models. Why clean your desk when you can build upwards? Our customers report an average desk height increases of 14 inches. Their productivity remains unchanged. Events and exposés. Alright, let's talk about AdeptiCon. Because there was a lot, and I mean that in the way you mean it when your eyes glaze over and you start writing a new list. Warhammer 40K 11th edition, Armageddon, new Astra Militarum vehicles, Yarick, back from whatever it is that Yarick comes back from. Kill Team, Red Terror, hunting Cadians, we've covered it. The terror remains formidable. The eyes on Cadian faces remain the greater challenge. Age of Sigmar. Cities of Sigmar are getting cog forts, massive walking fortresses. Someone somewhere in a design meeting asked, what if a building had legs? And instead of being stopped, they were given a budget. Clans Xian Also got a spotlight, the rat assassins, moving silently, striking without warning. They're probably already behind you. Warhammer Underworlds is getting a new Lumineth warband. More elves. There are always more elves. I don't say this critically, I'm just noting that in the grim darkness, somehow the elves are just fine. Marvel Crisis Protocol dropped a release roadmap that stretches all the way into 2027. Characters announced include Danny Moonstar, Jubilee, Red Hulk, Onslaught, and given the pace, probably your cousin, eventually. The roadmap is longer than most hobbyist projects. It is longer, I suspect, than some of my unfinished armies will ever be. They also revealed Alliance Games, a system where each game is a standalone but connects to a larger universe. So basically, your backlog technically separates games, emotionally, a single overwhelming disaster. Rotating minigame. 1-star hobby reviews. Time for 1-star hobby reviews. Real feelings, fake attribution. 1 star. This paint claimed 1 coat coverage. I applied 6 coats. I'm on my knees. It lied to me. I trusted it. 1 star. Bought a starter set for a calm, relaxing hobby. I now own 3 armies. My dining table is gone. 1 star. Would not recommend to anyone I care about. 1 star. Instructions unclear. I am now a load bearing. 1 star. Dropped 1 small piece. Searched for 40 minutes. It's gone. It's simply gone. I believe it has achieved something I have not. 1 star. Paint pot sealed permanently on first use. I think it's protecting something inside. I've stopped trying. 1 star. Watched 1 tutorial. Felt confident, applied paint. The model looked at me with what I can only describe as pity. Predictions and closing remarks. Warhammer 40K 11th edition will be described officially as the most streamlined version yet. The first FAQ will be released 72 hours later. By the third FAQ, legal scholars will be involved. Hobbyists will continue purchasing new releases at a steady pace, while telling friends, partners, and themselves, I'm really focusing on what I have right now. And somewhere, right now, at this exact moment, someone is looking at their desk, looking at their pile, and thinking, you know what? I should start a new army. You shouldn't. It won't help. You have things to finish. But you're going to. We both know it. That's C7 Miniature Misinformer Hobby News. Thin your paints, question your decisions, and remember, the pile of shame isn't failure. It's proof that you still believe, every single time, that this will be the project you actually finished. That kind of optimism is rare. Protect it. And maybe finish something. See you next episode.